Right, let's see if this Dutch crew can power away as befits the last World Cup winners and possibly the favourites for the Olympic title. It's a really strong charge, really good surge.
Yeah, and this efficiency that I've been talking about, we've got the Canadian crew there, they're proud enough to be rowing their Olympic flags or their country's flags and their blades, and that will mean a huge amount. But these Dutch rowers on the left-hand side, lots of Olympic experience, a lot of Henley experience, and they just row so efficiently. They just look relaxed and they pick up the water well. And on the other side, the Canadians, they're going to have to press it to stay with them.
Let's see if we're going to have an eights race, which is going to take us right down to the finish. That would certainly get Henley humming, I think, on this Friday afternoon, just to start to ramp up the temperature and the anticipation for the weekend of finals on Saturday and Sunday.
And I love this. This is the first race these guys will have done in this regatta. And look at the Dutch. There they go. It's efficient, it's flat, it's strong. It's a leg-driven stroke. And if you watch them, their shoulders are low, their arms are loose, and they're just pressing it through. And it just lifts that yellow boat up out the water.
That has flown almost a length in the time that you were talking there for about 10-15 seconds. Absolutely textbook.
And Jonathan, this is what I'm talking about, that national style. You can just see the relaxation, you can see the efficiency and how they're picking it up. The Canadians, these are talented athletes. They have a class crew they're up against at the moment, and at the moment they just make them look like they're standing still. That was a decisive move made possibly in a side-by-side race.
And you could see it happening, you could see it unfolding. Suddenly there was as if someone had moved a gear and they just went, they disappeared.
Yeah, magical, and you can see now, you know, they're up there, they're going to be right by the crowds. Their coxswain has got them placed nicely away from the booms, 3 or 4 feet away from there. They'll feel absolutely comfortable with that when they come past these gaps and come back in. It won't be a shock. And as you look there, their blade work, neat, together, efficient. What can the Canadians do now? They're going to have to press it on and hold on, Jonathan.
Well, the cox will be imparting that information, can see how far ahead the Dutch are, and to be fair, surely, you ask any crew, and you know in your heart of hearts, going to any race, you know whether you've got a good chance, whether it's going to be well matched, or actually it's just a question of hanging on and just doing your best, because you know you're in a match, and this is just the match racing, where it's pretty much an unequal struggle, and they can see this and they will know this. The sound, because there's, as we said before, there's not much happening on their right, is there? They've gone.
Jonathan, this is really special. As you say, that the other Dutch will feel away, and so for the Canadians, all they can feel is those puddles coming down, and actually their boat will be sort of vibrating a little bit because they'll be able to hear but not be able to see or really feel the Dutch 8 anymore. But I'm excited here. We did see this boat come out and set the world alight in Lucerne. People have been talking, could they challenge the Germans, the Brits in the Olympics? We know the Americans are not there. Could we be looking at a boat that will win this race today, but could win a race in about 40-odd days' time that I know they're going to be focusing on also?
He was quietly confident when I spoke to Mark Kemper, who's the new coach, focusing much more around peak power, a lot of weights, lower mileage, but above all, it's this explosive power, and we saw that, not just off the start, but in particular after about 100, maybe 150 metres, that wonderful surge. It was a joy to watch. That is what has set this 8 apart from the opposition, who at one stage seem to be going quite close to the booms on their right-hand side. The right-hand crew, as we look on the Buckinghamshire station, there is talk, and you will know this, that the stream on that side can help at this particular stretch of the race, but they're going to need someone to lift and carry the boat because the Dutch are in complete control. They've done what they needed to do. A look round there by the cox. They know exactly where they are. They have them where they want them, and if there's to be any move by the Canadians, the Dutch have just move again.
Yeah, you can see it. They're still looking efficient, but don't be fooled, Jonathan. There was pain on those guys' faces. What they're doing is loose, it's relaxed. but they are still really hurting. It is an efficient stroke, it's a powerful stroke, but it's still, when you're doing a 6-lane race or a 2,000-metre race, you'll be hoping at this stage for the finish line to start to feel the red boys, and here at Henley there's still quite a long way to go. So those guys are hurting, they're going to enjoy the view of the Canadians' backs, but for me, yeah, still costing them physiologically.
In terms of the draw then, looking at the Grand Challenge Cup, I mean, the other crews there, Spanish crew, the Italian crew, is there anyone who's going to be able to really take a race to this Dutch crew?
Well, the question for me is there anyone in the world right now who could put a race to this Dutch crew? They do look very, very good, and what I loved was that move they did after the minute that absolutely sealed the deal against this Canadian crew. And let's remember, this Canadian crew is a very talented boat. Let's see what happens when we see the rest of the racing in the Grand today, but let's also keep a close eye on this crew for the rest of the season.
Every reason for a Henley crowd to come out on a Friday afternoon, because this has been a very impressive performance. The applause is there, the performance has certainly been there, and the finishing line is fast approaching. They did the hard work early on. They can now take the plaudits because they have taken this heat very comfortably. It's windy, but I'm tempted to say they put the wind up everyone else in this particular challenge competition. The Canadians come across, but boy, they know they've been in a race.
Absolutely, the Dutch out of breath there, but yeah, that wasn't a very impressive performance. Canadians, they gave it everything, and yet that move at the minute, it made all the difference.